I have Dollop tour dates to announce for the year 2024 of our Lord J-Town. We have our 10th anniversary show coming up in Los Angeles on April 27th. Guests are Karen Kilgariff and James Adomian. And then we are going to Australia, starting on May 13th in Perth, May 16th in Sydney, May 18th in Brisbane, May 20th in Canberra, May 22nd in Melbourne, and May 24th in Adelaide. You can get your tickets at dolloppodcast.com.
Discover new opportunities together in a new Chevy. Meet up in an Equinox, winner of the J.D. Power Award for initial quality among compact SUVs. Lend a hand in the strong and capable Silverado, or mix it up in a high-tech Trax with an available 11-inch diagonal touchscreen. Find family, friends, and fun in the Chevy that's right for you. Click to learn more.
See your Colorado Chevy dealer.
For J.D. Power 2023 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
Did you guys just wake up? Welcome to Riot LA! Good morning. I'm so excited. This is one of my absolute favorite podcasts. Please put your hands together for the Dollop!
Nice try. You gave it a whirl, didn't you, Meryl? Hi, everybody.
Hi, I'm the Dollop.
That's definitely tough to hear. What is going on? What? Oh, Jesus Christ. You're really saving that little chestnut, huh?
How sad is it that I came down here before the show and put that back there?
Oh, that wasn't... Oh, I thought you had it on
It was like
you.
a setup and then...
Oh, you're basically Carrot Top. You're Girl Top.
I am Girl Top. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Don't creep
I
them
hear
out.
beeping.
Yeah, someone's watches. Someone has somewhere to be.
watch?
They
Is
have to go
someone
to the Dollop right now, and their alarm is going
Is someone
off.
backing up? Who's backing up? Is it what? Pop? It's the popcorn machine. You know, it's a great show when you can hear the popcorn machine.
Well, we can tell you're locked in. What's that beeping? A mile and a half away, there's a beeping.
What's that? What is that?
On a mountaintop, a goat is shrilling.
What do we? Shut it down! Okay.
That guy's honking his goddamn horn. Stop shutting doors!
Okay, I wish I could remember the fucking guy's name. So we have in the audience is how many people have never heard the podcast before? Okay.
See, we're doing
That's
a
interesting.
hand clap and a hand raise, so we weren't clear, but there
Yep.
some hands went up and others clapped. So
No, could you just blink? So in the audience is a direct descendant of Samuel Whitmore.
Oh shit.
How about that shit?
That's real shit.
Do you remember who that is?
Yeah. Yeah.
He has no idea who that is.
Yeah, no, I know him.
The badass old guy from
Yeah,
the
the old guy.
Revolutionary War.
Yeah, from the Revolutionary War. He's a badass. And sir, I'll just say, big fan. So wherever you are.
We want to thank our subscribers at Patreon. You guys are awesome.
That's not directed to the hand raisers.
I think if you guys were not donating, we wouldn't be doing this anymore.
That's what? It's an insane thing to say.
Because
It sounded normal when you said it, but
we just do this for money.
no. Okay, don't
We don't have fun. This isn't
don't
fun.
open up anymore. Put the hat back
This
on.
isn't
Go back
fun.
to that bit. That was a better
This
bit.
isn't
That was-
enjoyable.
Nope.
It's a tedious,
David.
arduous fucking podcast.
All right, buddy.
That takes
Dave.
my soul
Dave
every
O.
week.
All right, pal.
And my wife doesn't love me anymore because she doesn't see me. My son calls me Phil.
Yeah, it must be tough to have your name changed like that.
Wow. Well, hey. This kitty has claws.
I think we need to bar Merrill from shows.
His name's Marble.
Marble.
Just changed. Ladies and gentlemen, originally we had Patton Oswalt lined up, but he is a fucking asshole. And so we got somebody better. Much better. Not as popular,
What's happening?
but better. Better in a way that he's funnier
Dave.
and smarter, but just not to the masses.
It's not.
He was on a show that was canceled on TBS, I think.
Rory, I don't.
And he is, I believe, available for work. Ladies and gentlemen, Rory Scovel. He was, we made him wait outside.
Way to kick it off right for me. Bring me up with some pizzazz. Folks, here's who we wanted. Here's who we ended up with.
I'm happy.
Oh, but there were others.
There were... We tried to get Patton Oswalt and 10 other people. And then Rory was actually just standing outside a few minutes ago, and...
You were selling stuff from your tote bag.
I was trying to sell some of the free stuff we got. And Dave was like, do you want to be on our podcast? And I said, you got it. So I'm here to lend my services. I don't even know what that means.
Are you hot yet?
I'm not hot, but I will take this off if I become hot.
Yeah, you will.
Oh, I like how you work. Hey, Rory. Hey, Rory.
Yeah. Hey.
November 18th, 1862.
Let us go there.
James E. Sullivan was born in New York City, the son of Irish immigrants.
Perfect.
True.
Thank you for doing all the research.
I'm unaware that
this,
it's
too.
not a game show. True. I think true.
No, don't answer that.
Okay,
It's
sorry.
another question. Nope.
Sorry.
Nope.
Please hit your buzzer.
It's your buzzer if you think that's a fact.
By the way, I have a cold, so I'll be coughing like I'm dying throughout this podcast.
Awesome.
His parents were working class, and he got a public education. At 16, he started working at Frank Leslie's Publications. You guys remember that?
Yeah, Frank Leslie.
And 2 years later, he started his own paper, The Athletics News.
Okay.
He continued to work in sports publishing and expanded into selling sporting goods. So far, pretty boring.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we're all thinking.
But those were glory days. That's a glory time when you
Yeah.
can just call your newspaper exactly. Athletic News, like no creativity. We're the Athletic News.
Any questions?
He was an athlete himself, starting as a runner at 15 as a member of the Pastime Athletic Club.
That's a great name, too.
And in 1888, he helped establish the Amateur Athletic Union, which was created to establish common standards for amateur sports. Huh?
Yeah. It makes so amateur sports were not really regulated before then, so...
Right, you could do
anything.
There were like no...
Oh, no touchdown. Piss on him.
What? I feel like that might not have been...
No?
A thing. Oh, you are hot.
Oh, boy.
You know, after my athletic news joke didn't hit, I thought,
Do you know how to take off a jacket?
yeah, I got it.
Usually people will... Well, the flopping one arm thing was...
Yeah.
It's
Took it off
okay.
like you were
I get it.
driving.
That's so terrifying. There's always that moment when
Oh,
you're taking
God.
your jacket off
What
while driving,
have I
you're like, here we go. Like you're so scared that
sweet
one
bastard.
sleeve.
Says,
Oh, I'm in
no.
too deep. I'm in deep now.
Yeah, put it back on. Take it off.
The only way out is through.
Oh, shit.
Oh, so Sullivan, using the Amateur Athletic Union to create common standards for amateur sports, wrestled control from the other amateur athletic unions in the country, and he was exactly the kind of asshole that was needed to fight for control. Quote, he was blunt, avoided compromise, and preferred honest directness no matter who got hurt.
Okay, so, right. So he didn't mind what happened. He would just get his way. Is that what you're saying?
He's a fucking asshole.
Well, all right. Maybe he's a visionary.
His big break came in 1892 when he was asked to run the American Sports Publishing Company. He used his power in that position to push the AAU and his agenda. And under his control, the AAU took over, and soon most U.S. national championships took place under its leadership. He wanted to show, above all, the supremacy of the American athlete. Yep.
That's a little bit of a red flag.
You think?
Yeah.
Is this the metaphor for Hitler?
Yeah.
What is the athlete will be the reigning race. Only athletes will control the world. That was probably his voice. Go on.
So he just wanted to make sure the amateur athletes in the States were the best.
Well, he wanted to show that the American athlete was better than everybody else, and
You're very emphatic. So
When you say better than everyone else, do you mean better than athletes from other countries or just people in general? Like
Just
the
everybody.
amateur athlete is the best you can do.
just everybody.
Don't tell them about professional athletes. Don't let
You
anyone
guys are
know.
doing great. No, we didn't sell any tickets tonight.
You don't need to. You're at the height of your career.
Yeah.
The pinnacle.
You're not doing it for money. Back in the weight room, you amateurs.
Now, in 1904, the city of St. Louis was planning to host an event called the Louisiana Purchase Centennial Exhibition.
Catchy.
All right,
That's a
the
real good one.
SLEP, whatever you said.
Yeah.
The LPCE.
The SLCET
LPCC.
12.
Yep.
What? Why wouldn't you celebrate 100 years of buying Louisiana?
Got to do something with it.
So it was actually combined and turned into a World's Fair. The Louisiana Purchase occurred in 1803, but 1904 is 101 years later, if you're doing the math.
Well, but the planning.
Yeah.
You really want to make sure you do it right, so you start planning on the anniversary for a big shindig
Right.
a year from then.
Yes.
It was delayed to allow for larger participation of more states and foreign countries. There would be exhibitions from 62 foreign countries and 43 states. Big hoo-ha.
Did you say 62?
62 foreign countries
Wow,
and
okay.
43 states.
Really
So
is a World's
while
Fair.
all this is going on, the International Olympic Committee was looking at different U.S. cities to hold the Olympics in 1904. And after contemplating New York and Philadelphia, they awarded the Olympic Games to Chicago. This would be the third Olympic Games. But the city of St. Louis was not pleased. The Olympics were going to take place at the same time as the Louisiana Purchase Centennial plus 1 year exhibition.
I want to add horror ambiance to this story. Really? The exact same weekend?
It's definitely creepier. And now I'm worried.
Yeah, I didn't expect
Maybe I'm
this.
misinterpreting the story.
No, I think we all were.
No, you might be getting it right. So Louisiana did what any respectful city would to do. They decided to hold their own sports competition, and they reached out to Sullivan. And, of course, Sullivan agreed to stage the AAU Track and Field Championships at the World's Fair. The Amateur Athletic Union was huge, so this was a big deal and a big problem for the Chicago Olympics. What they were trying to do was to force the IOC to move the games to St. Louis. Really? Having a larger competing athletic event happening at the same time as the Olympic Games could spell ruin. So Olympics founder Pierre de Coubertin gave in. He's French. He's French.
Hello.
I looked it up. I fucking went and I pressed a button and a French guy went, Pierre de Coubertin. And I was like, I got this.
Pierre, the scent was strong. Someone get Pierre on the phone. Pierre, we found another body. Was it an amateur or a professional athlete?
We're not talking about professionals anymore, Pierre.
So Pierre gave in, and the games were switched to St. Louis, but Pierre was pissed.
No.
Of course.
He said,
he was, right?
he thought, quote, the Olympiad would match the mediocrity of the town of St. Louis.
That's backhanded.
Have fun.
I love
Might
that.
be front-handed.
I love a comment like that. Really puts St. Louis in their place.
Is it? Now, you've always hated St. Louis.
Always hated them, no
Yeah.
matter what.
It's just...
Nope, that's all I've got. Sorry, chapter 2.
Once the decision was made, Pierre pretty much bowed out of the Olympics. All communication between St. Louis and Coubertin stopped. He actually loathed Sullivan, so Sullivan and St. Louis were on their own to do what they wanted.
So they were making their own Olympics?
Well, there was no Olympic charter for them to follow, no rules, no nothing.
Wait, a ruleless Olympics?
Yep.
That's a movie.
That's the year poker got in. And poker slid right under the door. No, we've always been in the Olympics. Yeah. Copy here.
He's not answering.
He's not answering.
Well, you got to take our word
Go
for
on
it, I
faith.
guess. Yep.
The World's Fair was much longer than the Olympic Games. Instead of lasting 2 weeks, the Olympic Games were incorporated into the fair, which meant they would take place over 7 months.
What? No. What? No.
A 7-month Olympics?
A 7-month festival?
What happened?
Wait,
Is that weird? Is that strange?
what?
People are coming from 62 countries? What is their hotel bill?
Well, say goodbye to your wife and kid. They'll be a year older when you see them again. So they not only did they have no affiliation with the Olympic Committee anymore, but they had no idea what the Olympics were.
Zero idea of the time frame.
What do you think? 7 months for this guy? 7, 8? How long does it take to do this shit?
7 if we're rushing.
All right, let's rush and do 7.
So they're going from
half the
April to November. And the rest of the world wasn't as into the Olympics in a second-tier U.S. city that would be difficult to travel to and would take place for 7 months. So many nations decided not to go to the 1904 Olympic Games. Yeah. The Fair/Olympics started on April 30th, 1904. The opening ceremony for the Olympics was held...
4.5 months. Milk it. We're still building courses.
The opening ceremony was held in May. After many speeches from a lot of politicians, track and field contests immediately commenced. Spectators watched the event in the packed stadium. But what they were actually watching were the Missouri High School Track and Field Championships.
I don't even understand. What?
I'm not going to lie,
A lot of
Dave.
people turned out for this one, huh?
Your discovery of this story is a screenplay ready to be written. Hope no one here writes screenplays.
The fair itself was nothing like anyone had ever seen. It was the largest...
Wait, sorry.
Yes,
Why were they watching high school people? What happened? They just...
How were they going to fill 7 months with fucking athletes? They're just like, yeah, you guys want to do it?
All right, so they're...
So the opening ceremony was...
Was it a scam or they're just insane?
Think about
It's a little bit of both.
All right.
a packed stadium.
A packed stadium with
I'm
all
pretty
these...
nervous to compete in the Olympics. I just thought this was the 1500.
Honey, what's it say on the ticket? Is this the Make-A-Wish
No,
Day?
it just says...
Who's that down there?
It just
I
says
could
it's
do
regular.
that.
No, it's regular.
Kid looks like he's 13.
He is 13.
Oh.
Yeah. It's the best athlete in the world. And he's 13. And a little chubby.
It was the largest exposition that had ever been held, covering 1,272 acres. The fair had educational exhibits, including scientific agriculture, art, great inventions and discoveries, health, quote, electricity up to 1904.
Thank God they didn't get into that 1906 electricity in 1904. Jesus Christ, what would have happened?
And we'll have to plug ourselves in. So, anyways.
I'm picturing a coach in the locker room going, guys, I'm not going to lie to you. These people think this is the Olympics. So seriously, try to behave, please, when you're out there.
Come on, act like you're a goddamn Olympian! Get your head out of your ass! You're competing for the gold! Or a medal that everyone gets.
There was also machinery, manufacturing, mining, quote, new household methods. It must have been it's a great, well, it's also a fair. It's a fair/Olympics.
It's,
and then there was women's progress since the World's Fair at Chicago, which was probably a great exhibition. They're wearing dresses still.
I wonder what it
Because
looks
there was
dress.
zero progress for women.
I'm wondering
Back
what
then.
was the amount of progress they were allowed to like.
Well, it was
be given
probably
in-
an empty room where they just assumed nobody would go. Like someone tried to go in there, like, sir, why are you pushing that door, buddy? Women's progress? No. There's something about electricity in 1906, 2 doors down. Go hit that up.
to go down there.
Go down there. You can watch some of the world's best teenagers compete.
I would like if they went in, there was just a woman churning butter.
Help.
It's the same.
Help me.
It's the same. Help us.
Shut the door. Get the goddamn gun. Shut the door. Anyway, don't go in there and tell everyone else to not go in there.
Photographers came with their bulky cameras. One of those photographers was Jessie Tarbox Beals from Buffalo. She was the nation's first female news photographer. When she left Buffalo, newspapers reported that, quote, Buffalo lost one of its best professional women today. But when she applied for an official press pass at the fair, she was denied. Fair officials didn't think she could do what men did, hauling a camera all over the grounds. Jessie contacted the local papers, hoping to get hired as a staff photographer. Nope, they all turned her down. So she went back to the fair officials with more ammo in the form of all of her past work and totally wore them down.
I hope on her way she passed the Women's Progress exhibit, stopped, and was just like,
Mother sons of bitches. You could live in here, I guess. No, that's not what I want.
Also, I love that Buffalo was like, well, she's not coming back. Like, she's going to report something. They're like, well, she's not coming
We've been
back.
here before. Good Lord.
Lost another one.
They don't come back. No, St. Louis will be amazing compared to Buffalo.
That's the self-esteem of Buffalo. Once she gets to St. Louis
Once
and
she
sees
sees
that there's fun in the
The
world.
bright lights of St. Louis, look out. She ain't coming back. Kiss her goodbye now while you got a chance. She
No.
gets the hustle and bustle of that St.
Yeah.
Louis life under her feet.
Just the energy and the life of St. Louis.
She won't sleep. St. Louis is the town that barely naps. That's
Have
what we all
fun being
call it.
awake for 7 months,
She's going to the
reporting.
7-month Olympics.
carrying that bulky camera.
She took all her life's work.
The next day after she was hired, a headline in the local St. Louis newspaper read, quote, woman gets permit to take pictures at the fair.
Oh, my God.
What? Honey, get in here! Have you seen today's paper? Get the kids and my gun. We're moving to Buffalo. I hear they're kicking their female photographers out of town. Jesus Christ, the goddamn apocalypse!
Anyway, she went on to take pretty much the best photos of the fair. Surprise. She photographed exhibits like the world's largest organ, the world's largest
Wait.
cedar bucket.
Wait, when you
Not
say
that
the world's
organ.
largest organ.
No, actual organ, not
Okay,
the one
right,
you're
an
thinking.
organ.
Not, it wasn't like a liver.
Look
or
at
a
the
dick.
liver.
Or
Look
a-
at that was in somebody.
You know what I like when you say that she like took the best pictures? You know that if they were making a movie about her, they would include the character who existed in real life of the man who would look at me like, well, I don't see what's special about these photographs.
Just regular pictures.
Like, compared to the others, they're like blurry and shitty. Like, oh, because she's in focus? What does that even mean to you, Jason? Who cares?
Squint your eyes, you lazy piece of
I'm
shit.
not trying to look at the athlete. That's a high school kid. I want to see the horizon.
I know they're in focus, but she's a woman.
How could I possibly love this photograph more than this other photograph? I mean, good Lord.
They're
Defines
identical.
me as a person. I tricked you. Those were both her photographs. God damn it, Jason.
Fine.
You're the worst assistant.
Write an article about it.
Really
she-
fizzled out quick. All right.
She also photographed the world's largest cedar bucket.
Never mind. Now I'm off her team now.
By the way, that's in Tennessee today, if you want to.
How big is it?
It's 6 feet.
That's a big-ass bucket.
It's a big fucking bucket. Super
That's
useful.
a gold medal bucket.
Yep.
The bucket won a medal.
What are we going to do with it? What?
Put the organ in it. Throw that liver in there.
Drown the woman!
No more spitballing. There'll be no more spitballing. Took a dark turn early. No more brainstorming.
There are also crazy new food items like cotton candy, peanut butter, Dr. Pepper, puffed wheat cereal, and waffle cones.
Okay, so not a bad festival.
Right?
Yeah.
We still use those things today.
Yes.
There was beautiful Jim Key, a famous performing horse.
Oh, you don't need to tell us who that horse is. Jim Key?
Jim Key.
Oh, what a pony.
His
Let me-
owners.
Can I ask a
said-
question?
Yes, go.
Is it JIM space KEY
It
or
is.
is it JIM like KI? Or it's actually Jim Key,
Jim Key?
like the name of a person.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
All right.
It's
Well,
it's
hold
a horse
on.
with a man name.
Beautiful Jim Key. So his first name is Beautiful. Middle name Jim, last name Key.
All right.
Not a lot of people have that name.
No,
There's
not
a
lot of
boxer
horses.
out there named Beautiful Jim Key at this
True.
time.
His owners said he could read and write.
I'm sorry. let's just pump the brakes for a second right there. That seems like a good spot to jump in. So this is not only a beautiful
Yes.
horse with a man name,
Yes.
but it's also literate.
Very little. Yes.
And
Read
that's the
and
owner.
write.
The owner claims
I
that.
actually
That really
just
ups
wrote-
the resale value. Oh, it can also read and write and babysit children.
Yes, and it can fly. And it just wrote an article about a woman photographer. And what else can it do?
Well-
It's a field goal kicker.
It can make change. It could also make change.
Just see the newspaper, giant headline. Horse can read and write. Honey, come in here. There's a female photographer at this festival. Jesus Christ, the world is insane.
Oh my God! Look, a
What's
horse.
real anymore?
There's a horse that can read and write.
Shut up, Rebecca.
I'm sorry. Shouldn't have. You're right. I'll be in the churning wing.
Of course the horse can read and write. It's the woman and the snapping of the photograph.
I can't believe a woman can manipulate a camera button. Of course a horse can read and write and make change. He's a horse. It's beautiful Jim Key. He owes me $50.
If this photographer woman ever rides this illiterate horse, time travel will happen.
Fly through a Stargate into the sky.
Beautiful Jim Key could also do arithmetic for numbers below 30.
How? How is that even possible?
How is it not possible?
No, you're
As
right.
well as cite Bible passages, quote, where a
So-
horse is mentioned.
So,
Of course.
He's like, I'm only doing the ones about horses.
they just really interest me. Anyway, here's your change.
But I mean, the horse. Someone forced the horse passages on him. He didn't decide that. It wasn't like the horse read the whole Bible and was like, I only want to remember the ones with horses in it. What kind of fair?
Maybe he was trying to make a point.
Was this a fair or a circus? What was this?
Well, what was the difference back then?
Now that
You're learning!
now that I think about it, I don't know what the difference was.
All right. So that's just your normal fair crap, right?
Yeah.
And then, because it was 1904, things got weird.
Things then got
One
weird.
of the main attractions was the Philippine Village.
Oh boy.
There,
Oh boy.
A lot of assumptions where this is going.
Yeah,
Just,
it's not
uh,
going somewhere good. We're gonna miss that horse in a minute.
just like the State Fair in Sacramento.
And immediately the theater exploded with white guilt. Here's where we fucked up.
Fuck.
Go on, read it.
There, visitors could gaze upon actual Filipinos living in their native habitat.
In what? In what? But wait.
Yep.
Sounds fine to me.
Now, were they? Did they want to live in their habitat, or were they like polar bears in the zoo? Where they're like, please free us, and they're like, look, they're adorable. I love your accent.
I think we all know the answer to that question. Pretty certain none of them were like, I'll do it.
I'd love to
Stand
have-
here on display like an animal? Yeah, of course, I'd love
Absolutely.
They were from the Agorot tribe, who were dog eaters.
Oh
that.
So people would
no.
walk
no.
around watching Filipinos eating dogs. Everybody good?
Were there any athletes competing?
We'll get there. There were other villages, the Pygmies from Central Africa, the Syrians, the Turks, tons of people from all over the world, as well as American Indians like the Apache. Great Native American warrior Geronimo was on display, living his dream. All of these people were called savages.
Good. Good.
And these savages would do
No. This is
all
not good.
all the savages would do at the exhibitions was just live their lives like they would in their homeland each day while people stared at them. It's just a good fair. It's just fun. It's just a fun fair. The goal of the fair was to show how amazingly advanced the people of America were and,
That is fucked
and
up.
white people in general compared to the rest of the non-white world. This was all marketed by the fair's, and this is the actual name, Department of Exploitation.
So they knew. So they weren't like hiding it. They were like, look, we get it. It's fucked up.
Department of
Who gives a shit?
Exploitation. Hi, Jim Key, Department of Exploitation.
My God, you're a talking horse.
Let me do the talking, sir. How old are you? If it's under 30? Otherwise, this conversation is going to have to stop. My head won't.
I can't grasp
You
it.
see, I am a horse.
Can I?
Noah rode a horse and...
Can I just have my change?
Right, sorry, the change. Absolutely, the
working.
change. Right.
He's doing funnel
Sorry,
cakes.
there you go.
So it was the Department of Exploitation's job to promote all these wonderful exhibitions.
Promote. That's the term the Department of Exploitation used.
James Sullivan was made head of the fair's Department of Physical Culture. His department was to show how great the American style of athleticism was. And that's what he believed. Sullivan thought white Anglo-Americans were superior in brains and brawn, and he was going to use the fair and Olympics to prove it. Basically, this was the racial superiority World's Fair / Olympics / anniversary of buying Louisiana.
Oh, right, Louisiana's Purchase.
Right, don't forget about
Right.
that.
Forgot that was thrown in.
First, he went to the head of the fair's Department of Anthropology. This is a fucking weird
A lot
fair.
of departments.
It's almost like a university with all the departments. And he suggested they combine their efforts, and he wanted to call it the Special Olympics. The idea was to have the savages try to do the same athletic feats as very trained, very skilled white athletes.
What?
Basically,
He don't know discus.
Basically, it was like...
Look at his little brain. America's the best.
It was like walking into an auto shop and pulling out a mechanic and making him swim like Michael Phelps. The head of the Department of Anthropology agreed to combine their efforts because it would give him data and help make a name for him in the new field of anthropology. So it's a win for everybody.
Well,
Sounds like it.
It's a win for everybody.
well.
Everyone's getting their time in the sun. You know.
Unfortunately, it wasn't as easy as it sounded. The so-called savages in their exhibits were actually paid showmen. They had agents and show producers who represented
Not right now.
them.
I'm on break. I'm on an equity 5. Don't even. I'm not in character right now. Don't look at me with the headdress off. Turn your kid away. I'm having a smoke break, asshole.
Also, most of them didn't want to have anything to do with Sullivan's fucked up competition idea. Many of them thought the idea of the Olympics was ridiculous, and others just wanted to be paid, like the Ainu of Japan who climbed trees in their exhibition. Sullivan wanted them to climb trees in the Olympics, in the Olympic tree climbing competition.
What the fuck? What? No.
All right, look. Anything can be a sport. We're going to go around the room, raise your hand, and tell us what you think should be a sport. Climbing trees. Of course, climbing
Yes.
trees. That was already on the board.
Yes.
If it's on the board, don't repeat it.
Digging.
We need 100 new sports, guys. We have a lot of
Hide and
space
go
to fill.
seek.
Yes.
Tag would be a good
Yes,
one.
of course.
Opening can!
Yes,
Great.
of course.
That's great. Get that high on the board.
That's going to be in the opening ceremonies. Can opening.
Which is a month and a half.
Yeah.
Why would the Ainu of Japan climb trees for free in a competition when they got paid to do it in their exhibition? So he was running into some problems, and some events were quickly a no-go, like the water polo event. Everyone thought it sounded stupid.
I don't disagree there.
But the planning went on. And while it did, the fair went about its business. On June 5th, there was a bullfight scheduled to take place in an arena. The arena had been
I'm
built...
sure you bring it up because it was great.
It's going to be good. The arena had been built specifically for the bullfight by promoter Richard Norris. He called it the Norris Amusement Company Arena. It seated 16,000. Norris signed 36 bullfighters to contracts. But there was a bigger problem. Bullfighting was illegal in the United States and Missouri. Under pressure from religious and animal rights groups, the governor ordered anyone involved in bullfighting arrested. But Norris had already sold 8,000 tickets for $1 each.
Well, what the fuck is he going to do?
The event went on as planned.
Yep, smart.
First, there was a horse show. Next came a lacrosse.
Now, was Jim Key in the horse show?
I don't know.
If
He's
he wasn't-
above that, Gareth.
He wasn't
Jim
booked.
Key's not. He's
He was
doing a
working-
horse show.
Jim Key's doing one-nighters.
No, he was working in the box office.
It's good to know
50.
that.
Get out of here.
It's good to know that at that time our country was very protective of bulls, but very adamant that the savages have their own
Well,
display.
No,
the
we're-
Department of Exploitation didn't want a bull hurt. Just humans.
After the lacrosse demonstration, the crowd started getting irritated.
Demonstration. That's right, guys. Woo!
Lacrosse is fun.
Yeah.
Lacrosse is neat. They had like a whole song
Look
and
at
dance.
it. I'm going to catch it. Look at that net. Yeah. Throw to the goal. They don't count. We're not keeping score. What an exhibit.
Where are the bulls?
Yeah.
All right, guys. We know you all want the Bulls. There's just 20 more minutes of lacrosse.
We're lacrosse. We're better than water polo
All
that you all
right.
voted out of this festival.
So the crowd got irritated and started booing. They'd come to see a man kill something, and they wanted it now. So the announcer announced a bullfighter, Don Emmanuel Cervera. Then a deputy stepped out and told the announcer there would be no bullfighting. The cops took Norris and other organizers into the arena office to discuss the situation.
The office.
The arena office.
No, come with us. We got to talk.
Super tiny,
All right.
closet size.
Have the lacrosse guys milk a little more time. We'll be back in a minute.
Stretch.
Stretch, guys.
The spectators all demanded refunds. Instead of getting refunds, they were told to leave.
Sounds
That
good.
didn't go over well. They started throwing rocks through the windows of an arena office. Police tried to stop the growing riot, but there were too many rock throwers and not enough policemen. Someone tried to storm the office, but the cops held them back at gunpoint. The mob then went into the arena and released 3 bulls.
Sports!
I would honestly watch the Olympics if it was like this.
I would go to this.
I would go.
Kidding?
I would go for sure.
yeah.
For sure.
Well, it gets weird.
A lacrosse demonstration?
I'm in.
Of course I'm there.
But the bulls were so emaciated, they didn't really do anything. They just stood there. Now the crowd thought the whole thing was a scam, so they set the
They're
hay.
just horses.
So they set the hay in the bullpen on fire. The entire grandstand was built out of pine and tar paper.
Dave, are those flammable items?
Hey, wait, soak it in gas first.
Yeah.
So it went up pretty fast. The arena burned completely to the ground.
My God.
2 days later, bullfighter Cervera and another bullfighter named Carlton Bass got into a fight over the lack of pay, and Bass killed Cervera. So at least something died. Right?
Yeah, it's a bullfight. So
and now we're on to June.
just
Month
4 more
2.
months.
Actually, July.
What could go worse?
The first of 2 gymnastic events took place. Young George Iser took part. He was a product of German-based gymnastic clubs. Were very popular in Germany and moved to the States in the late 1800s. Now, George had one normal leg, and the other was amputated below
Do you
the
need
knee.
help?
What happened?
She's taking her
been there.
jacket off, and I just immediately
been
thought
there.
back
She
to
did
the
it like a
driving
normal
thing.
person. She
Yeah.
used her hands.
And I could. No one helped me. I wanted to be an example. Wanted to help people.
So George had one normal leg, and the other was amputated below the knee, and there he had a wooden prosthetic.
And he was a gymnast.
Yep.
Oh, it's weird. You're more
interesting.
shocked by that than the horse with the horse that can fly.
Now I've heard everything.
So he was part of a gymnastics club in St. Louis, and so he got involved in the games. The first event, called the International Turners Championship in July, he didn't do so well. He came in 10th in the all-around and 71st in his second all-around. Surprisingly, he finished last in the triathlon. Apparently, it's hard to sprint and do a long jump with one leg.
It's awkward.
I would love. I mean, I know they have the Olympics with people with prosthetics, but
That's
like a
different,
fucking clunky wooden leg.
Yeah.
Like that's an Olympics.
Yeah.
Just people running around like trying to do stuff and they can't. It's tremendous.
I wonder.
Okay.
I know it's a weird dream.
I want you to get that.
The Special Olympics, or as they be called, Anthropology Days,
What?
were held on August 12th and 13th. Sullivan invited scientists from all over the world to witness the event. A local paper described it. The unique spectacle of men deliberately throwing stones at one another.
Wait, so were those guys rioting just athletes?
So much more
Training?
interested in that than the gymnastics. That's kind of where I'm at.
All
as a viewer.
right. I just bronzed in a rock fight, so things are pretty good over here.
Got a pretty bad gash there.
Yeah,
on your
it's not
skull.
good, no, but you should see the other guys. If I could see, I can't. My vision is very blurry.
The unique spectacle of men deliberately throwing stones at one another will be one of the features at the athletic meet to be held at the stadium Thursday and Friday, in which all of the Savage tribe, now at the World's Fair, will compete.
Scientists were flown in.
The
Did
scientists
they
are there
even
to
read
watch.
the invitation? We'll go anywhere. We're scientists.
Get those clipboards.
It's an event where people throw rocks at each other. All right, yes.
It's very scientific.
Yes.
What kind of rocks are they?
I would love to go to that.
Quartz or? That's what interests me. I'm a man of science.
The first day was the shot put, the high jump, the long jump, the mile, and other events. One was throwing a baseball.
To where? To what? Like to what?
Just throwing it.
Who
the
could
kind
throw
of-
it the furthest?
Yeah, but if
The kind of
you're
Olympics
from a-
10-year-olds put together in their backyard. All right,
Like,
the
what if
baseball
you've
throw.
never thrown a baseball and they're like, go throw that? And you're like, like you don't know what to do. You have to be taught how to throw a baseball.
That's all? Just throw?
Yeah.
All right, guys, welcome to Throw.
I think put stuff like that back in.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree too.
Absolutely.
You turn on the Olympics and everyone's seen who can throw a baseball the
It's
farthest.
just
I'm
great.
like, yes, this
Yeah.
is more my speed.
That dude threw it really fucking far.
Good God.
He's got to win the gold in baseball throwing. It's a lock.
Now here's the catch. They did not take any time to teach the participants what to do. They were given instruction immediately before the event without an interpreter.
So they weren't given instruction.
Well, they were, but just in a different language than they knew.
Okay, you guys understand? All right, go out there and throw baseballs. And then rocks at each other. Thanks for doing this, guys.
They were also not allowed to practice at all, not once.
That's cheating.
They had no idea what the high jump was, and so it basically was not an event.
Oh, they're limboing. They're just treating it like a limbo contest. Fucking, who told them?
The 100-yard dash was anything but. Since they all spoke different languages, it was total chaos just getting them lined up. Then when the starting gun went off, most had no idea what in the fuck it was.
Run! Anyway!
And were just terrified. Some just froze. Others, not realizing it was a race, just slowly ambled down the track.
Come on, guy. That's what you had. That's what you needed. The rabbit. You needed the little rabbit that goes around the track. Get that fucking thing. Go get him.
The ones who did run didn't know what to do when they got to the finish line. Most of them would just stop at the tape instead of running through it.
Well, yeah, they probably didn't want to rip it. They were
Yeah.
probably like, that's nice.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Yes, it does make perfect
Yeah,
sense.
totally. So then essentially it was just the competition was to see who could go through the ribbon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who was brave enough to go through a ribbon?
And the scientists are just like, interesting.
And this guy actually...
Can't wait to
this-
take this data back to my home country and compute it in some way.
In 4 months.
What? No return flight?
That's interesting.
The majority of participants would realize what the event was after it was over, and then when asked to have another go, but they were denied because, quote, it violated the research design and invalidated the racial comparisons to white athletes.
Agreed.
It is very true. Sure. Well, that makes perfect sense.
Hey,
Once they know how to
no,
do it,
you
quit.
guys, I get it now. I know what it is. Can we do it
Sorry.
again?
Shut up! The event is over.
You lost.
But the white guys are...
Doing great.
They're great, aren't they?
unbelievable.
Look at them
Those
celebrating.
are some of the best teenagers this country has to offer. Goddamn woman taking pictures.
Is she still
She's
here?
over there. Don't even look at her or
Christ,
acknowledge her.
it's so crisp
Oh,
and
she's
clear.
so serious.
I didn't even know what rack focus was until
Nor should you.
I grabbed coffee
She
with
belongs
her.
in that butter churning room.
They were all listed in all the participants were listed in the official games report based on what country they were from and with their names, though a Congolese pygmy who had sharpened teeth was described in the report only as cannibal. But the event went great according to the press. Great fun for savages, read the headline in the LA Times.
It would be great to live in a time where your headlines were this insane. I mean, I know our headlines are insane, but that is like to pick up a paper and be like, oh, look, savages had fun at the Olympics the other day.
I just love picturing like them going back to their home country and be like, "Where did you go?" And be like, "You won't even believe what I'm about to tell you."
Talk! How was St. Louis?
I was there for 7 months. I was competing in competition. I didn't even know what was going on.
I just had to throw rocks against a bunch of other non-white people.
I thought I was
walking down a road and it was a race.
They shot at me and then got pissed when I didn't go through a ribbon.
Never go to America.
That's all I'll say.
Never,
Except
ever go to
I will
America.
say this: Buffalo is gorgeous this time of year. Go there. Have
Get a
fun.
chance.
Oh,
There was a woman with a camera.
Oh,
what?
Day 2 was supposed to be better. Sullivan considered these events to be more savage-friendly.
sure.
There was the tree climbing contest, archery, fighting demonstrations, a Mohawk versus Seneca lacrosse match, and mud throwing.
Oh my God. What? How do you even?
Did I mention mud throwing?
Yeah. How? Who's are
what's
there
that?
judges? What is
I got the
happening?
gold in mud throwing.
What happened?
It's the final thing on the list, guys. We need one more fucking.
I gotta go home. My wife's all over.
We're not leaving till we have a final
have-
event.
All right, what do we got? What do we have that we can use?
We got baseball throw. We got tree climb. We got count fast. We got
Hey.
look.
Hey.
We got see the furthest.
Hey!
Yeah.
Hey, look at me!
By the
look
way-
at me, guys!
Pour.
Mud!
Jesus Christ.
I want to get back to the person who can see the farthest. I see a lot of holes. And I know we're rushing to get out of here, but that one to me, I'm worried about.
I hope my miming to smoke a cigarette translates
It totally
well
does.
into the podcast.
Oh, it will.
Blow into the mic
It
harder.
will. People can tell. People can tell. Why does he keep breathing weird?
Guys,
into the mic?
rewind and imagine me smoking a cigarette during that little act out we call stage work.
Okay, they also had a javelin contest because they figured it was exactly like a spear, and every savage would know how to throw a spear,
But
right?
they're not to just throw it far, right?
Well, but
Now we know where that came from.
it's not. But it's not like everybody throws a spear who's not white.
No, I agree, but still, like if the whole thing is you're like, give the savages spears to compete, you might think they would use them as weapons. Perhaps.
Wait, are you saying that they might turn on the audience?
I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Thank you. Thank you.
The massacre. And now the St. Louis massacre.
But the fortunate thing was anthropology days were put together so late that the Department of Exploitation didn't have time to properly promote it, and the result was that not many spectators were there to
We're
witness.
not going to be able to exploit them enough. Guys, we got deadlines. Holy shit.
I got to know before longer than a week out. when
Please,
you're gonna,
for me to do my thing properly.
The great thing
All right.
was
Sorry,
everybody.
Gareth and I are sorry for that one.
guys.
No meat in that one. Sorry.
the great thing was that each winner of each contest, well, they didn't receive a medal like a regular Olympics.
Of course.
They
Right.
they got something better.
I bet they didn't.
A T-shirt.
The memories.
An American flag.
Oh, perfect.
Yep.
Perfect.
Take that back to your little mud hut.
Yep. That ought to wipe the terrible taste out of their mouths after this. God bless you guys.
James Sullivan saw the event as a success. He said it proved enlightened Americans were the best athletes in the world, that the natives were completely inferior. He proved savages couldn't play proper games or participate in proper events like the white man.
Yep.
Yeah.
My God, you should have seen them try to play tennis.
They had no idea. They couldn't get the counting right. They would put the balls in the pot. They were running through the net.
You should have been there. You should have seen it.
We didn't explain anything to them. And these simple-minded idiots had no idea how to play and score tennis.
It's like it's not natural to them to understand tennis like it is the white man who just instinctively knows what to do on a court.
They are foolish.
Here's a racket. You'll know what to do and what those lines mean.
Okay.
Unless you're stupid.
He double faulted again.
Jesus, he doesn't even know how to serve.
He keeps double faulting.
It's called backhand for a reason.
A little tops. No, the alleys are out, stupid.
He doesn't even know you can volley.
Don't keep playing.
Once you serve, maybe rush the net, play some defense.
Oh my God, he caught it. He caught the ball.
He caught the ball. Oh. We are so much better. We're the best.
Play defense.
Oh, I hope we never introduce soccer.
Sullivan said, quote, "The whole meeting proves that the savage has been a very much overrated man from an athletic point of view."
Who's going around saying that?
The Department
You know who's the most
Exploitation.
athletic? The
He
savages.
believed he had debunked the mythical existence of the noble savage, and in his final report, yes, he wrote a report,
Good.
said, "Lecturers and authors will, in the future, please omit all reference to the natural athletic ability of savages." Point made.
So all authors, he said that?
Everybody.
That
He's
was
like,
a
this is
long-
it. We done it.
7 months.
We're
that
not done.
guy, talk about holding a grudge.
Oh, we're just getting started.
When you
What
have to sit-
happened as a kid that he was like, you know what, one day I'll show them. I'll put on a 7-month-long fair and I'll show you that white people are the best.
What did you say over there?
Nothing. I was
heard-
just saying this coffee is phenomenal. Where's
Okay.
this from?
Thought I heard something about savages and white people.
Oh, why
Okay.
would I
right.
even say that?
Want to make sure.
Say, do you you know any sports that people haven't heard of?
Well, me and my friends used to always throw mud at each other.
That's what's not reported. He had the weirdest, creepiest laugh. It was so distracting for the scientists. They're trying to write stuff down.
Nobody make a joke. Nobody make a joke.
Is that how he laughs?
Yeah, that's his real laugh. Shh, just ignore it. Ignore it. Ignore it. Try to ignore it. Push it out of your head.
The founder of the Olympic Games, de Bourtin, didn't go, but was furious when he heard about the anthropology days. He believed that it was outrageous. What's happening? You guys all right?
I just can't stop picturing. I can't stop picturing him laughing.
He's picturing himself laughing as the guy more and more.
Oh, he's still there. I get it.
It's a distraction every time he introduces anything. God, what he just said is so racist. Did you hear him laugh?
Oh, God.
My
Just let him
God.
do whatever. Let him do anything. Just don't make him laugh. I'm shaking.
Okay, so now it's time for the actual Olympic Games.
What?
The the official sort of traditional period of Olympic Games, which were held from August 29th to September 3rd.
Good Lord.
Now,
Wait, how could they
there
fit
were
it all in?
Now, only 12 countries. So
the whole...
they're calling everything the Olympic Games, but now they're doing the Olympic Games.
Over 4 days?
Yeah. 4 days.
5 days?
Well, they don't have a lot of time.
So they just spent...
What?
That is insane.
What are you talking about?
They just spent months and months in the Olympics making people climb trees and throw rocks.
Right.
And now they know what an actual Olympics is, and they're doing it.
Olympics within the Olympics.
No, but someone else is running the Olympics now. They're like real Olympics is going to be.
Double Olympics.
But not this James dude isn't involved.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, this is his Olympics.
Fucking Christ, this story.
Yeah, he's totally involved.
Oh boy, he's
Yes,
really
I
involved. Oh god, he's really having fun now. Which is when he gets started, he doesn't stop. Is the problem?
So now, for these Olympic Games, only 12 countries had shown up. Because St. Louis is St. Louis. So of the 630 athletes, 523 were Americans.
I like our chances. That's right.
Looks good to me.
Over 50% of events were between Americans,
Well, I like our chances.
including the tug of war contest.
Shut up.
Oh
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
that we should have put that on the list.
We
That's
won
a
that.
good one.
So it's more of a field day than it is.
It's like a company picnic.
Yeah, it's more of a retreat.
It's more of a
picnic, yeah.
retreat. It's like a trust retreat.
Out of the
I'm competing at the ropes course later.
out
And
of
the balance beam, potato sack race, the three-legged race,
The water balloon
bobbing
toss.
for apples, egg on a spoon, passing oranges between our necks. It's just a whole
three-legged race.
three-legged race.
Yeah.
What did I say?
I don't know. Out of almost 100 sports of the sports, archery was the only event in which women were allowed to compete. There were 6 women, 5 from Ohio,
Interesting.
and one of those women won gold, if you can believe it.
Really?
They had one female exhibition sport, boxing.
Interesting.
So women couldn't participate in any sports unless they were shooting arrows or punching each other in the face.
Shame we changed that.
Makes sense. It was also not the best run Olympics.
This one wasn't?
Yep.
Are we talking about the same Olympics, the 7-month one?
Yep.
It wasn't the best run.
It was not.
What was the horse's name who ran it?
Hi, I'm Jim Key.
You're beautiful.
That's my best horse
That's not-
impersonation.
it's okay.
His horse laugh is
It sounds a lot like Jim Sullivan.
It's almost like Jim Sullivan's laughing through as a horse.
At this Olympics, we're going to be having a tug of war.
Just do
Hope
what the
everyone
fucking horse says.
enjoys it.
Do what the goddamn horse says.
Johannes Rung of Germany finished 5th in the 800 meters. He was a favorite to win, but he got really tired in the later part of the race. The reason he got really tired was because the day before he had accidentally lined up and run in the wrong race.
So anybody could just
The 880 race, which he also didn't win because he was an 800 runner.
Well, yeah,
he was
stopped
tired because
early.
the day before he ran the
Nobody-
440 race. And
This
then
is
he
the right
realized
one.
he was
This
not
is the
supposed
right
to-
one, right? This is the one?
Yes,
I don't
just
know.
line up.
Just
Run,
line up.
Run!
Swimming venues are held in open waters like rivers and lakes. The
Sure,
men's 50-yard freestyle race was held in a man-made lake. Zoltán Halmaj of Hungary was maybe the premier swimmer of the time. He won the race, clearly defeating American J. Scott Leary by a foot. But a U.S. judge declared the American the winner.
There we go.
This led to a massive brawl between the Hungary and American swimming teams. After the fight was broken up, they agreed to race again.
That's
And Halmaj won by a stroke. There was also an event called fancy diving.
Let's see where this goes.
just where
It sounds quasi-normal.
you just put on your Sunday's best and just, as
not
you're
gonna-
diving, you're just like, I love caviar!
That's your best tuxedo. What are you doing?
I'm diving this afternoon.
All right.
This event was popular in Germany and Sweden at the time. One would try to do elaborate gymnastic feats in the air before hitting the water. An American won the bronze medal, but the Germans protested. They claim the German dives had been, quote,
No.
fancier.
No. We had the fancier dives. If you, God damn you judges. We were diving way fancier the whole time.
That was the fanciest I've ever dove.
You can give him the bronze, but in my heart I have the gold because I know how fancy we both dived earlier.
Not one other diver was able to hit the water and maintain the top hat above their head. Oh, and look at this. I still have my monocle in place.
Thank you.
Interesting. Interesting how I wasn't the
It's a
best.
goggle.
The Americans said they had better entries into the water, which the Germans didn't seem to care about. The Germans made difficult, fancy dives, but then flopped into the water on their stomachs.
I
Look, if you're looking for divers that finish, maybe we're just not a team, okay?
Yeah, I stand corrected. I maybe was not the fanciest of divers.
Until we hit the water, though, fanciest by far. So fancy.
While the Americans performed less difficult but more graceful dives, it was suggested they have a dive-off for third place, but German Alfred Bonschweiger refused to participate.
I will not participate. Horse manure. Sorry, Jim.
What's after 30?
Children. Marriage and children. Thank you. Thank you so much. For everyone listening at home, I got a standing ovation.
No. If you stand when people clap, I don't think that counts.
Right,
technically, it is a standing ovation to some degree. To some degree, that is what happened.
Semantics, but all right.
In the boxing event, a fighter named Carol Burton entered as a lightweight and won his first match. Burton was a very popular boxer in the area, but it was soon discovered he was not Burton at all. He was a man named James Bollinger who assumed Burton's identity.
What? Why?
This is a goddamn mini-series. So many avenues of storytelling going on here.
He did this because Burton was popular and he wanted to gain favor with the judges. So Bollinger was disqualified. His next opponent, Peter Sturholt, got a bye to the semis. Then Peter Sturholt was beaten by Jack Egan. Egan ended up with the silver, and Peter Sturholt got nothing for finishing fourth. But a year later, they found out Egan's name was not actually Jack Egan. He was Frank Floyd, another imposter. So Egan was stripped of the medal, and a guy named Van Horn moved up to silver, and Peter Sturholt won the bronze, even though he never won a fight.
No one ever talks about the imposter era of boxing.
Olympic boxing. That'd be great just to win a bronze. I didn't do anything. Yeah, you came in third, so...
I got beat once.
Congratulations.
Yeah, good for you.
Well done.
What's that? Yeah, I'm Mike Tyson. How are you? Yep. Yes, I will fight. Yes, I am. Yeah, I am.
You're white?
Yep,
Yes.
I am Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson right here. I'm Evander Holyfield. We're going to give the people what they've wanted for a long time.
I love that this original boxer was so popular that people watched it and they're like, I guess that's him.
He looks terrible.
He looks completely different, but man, he can hit.
Was he always Italian?
No. He did a lot of work in the off season. He's good
On
now.
his face.
He's been
Completely changed his face.
doing Italianing. Sorry. Now, the Olympics' big event was the marathon. This was the event that harkened back to the days of Greece that tied the ancient days to modern times.
I bet it's going to be a fitting tribute.
It's going to be fucking great. Some of the runners were legitimate marathoners who had previous success in other marathons, but most of the participants were middle-distance runners or just weirdos. The favorites were American Sam Meller, A.L. Newton, John Lorden, Michael Spring, and Thomas Hicks. These guys were all experienced at marathons. There was also Fred Lors, who trained at night because he was a bricklayer during the day. He had landed a place in the marathon by winning a 5-mile race.
Well, that'll translate,
That makes
I'm
sense.
sure.
That makes sense.
Some bricklayer fans in here.
Now, those were the legitimate runners. The contestants also included 10 Greeks who had never run a marathon.
Good.
There was an ex-mailman Cuban named Felix Carbajal. He had raised money to come to the U.S. by running the length of Cuba, but when he got to New Orleans, he gambled on dice and lost all his money.
It's quite a siren, that town.
Then he had to hitchhike to St. Louis. There were two men...
Where the guy driving him didn't believe anything he'd said. Sure, buddy,
Yeah,
sure.
no, okay.
I'm
yeah,
going to run in a
right.
marathon. I
Yeah.
ran
I
the
know
length
you
of
are.
Cuba.
Yeah, of course you did.
Yeah, good for you.
To the Olympics we go, friend.
There were two men of the Tswana tribe of South Africa who were there as part of the Boer War exhibition. The war had ended in 1902.
Sorry, the what war?
Boer War?
Okay.
What happened?
I know.
Nothing.
Yep. I got it. Thank
Yep.
you.
Yep, thank you.
The war ended in 1902, and when it was over, the British burned all the crops, so everyone living there was fucked. They would take any job they could get, and the Boer War exhibition at the fair, which took place just 2 years after the actual war ended, was paying £4 a week. The exhibition was created by a captain who had fought for the Rhodesians in the war. Men, women, and children signed up. At the fair, they recreated 2 famous battles of the war. The battle reenactments took 2 to 3 hours and included several actual generals and 600 veteran soldiers from both sides of the war.
Oh, my God.
That's a really long event.
Yeah. Bring out lacrosse.
Somebody kill
I miss
him.
lacrosse. We love lacrosse.
Net on a stick and a tiny ball.
Look at it. I'm catching it, you guys. Let's see who can throw it the farthest.
Super short shorts, mega tight.
Come on, guys.
t-shirt.
Clap your hands with us.
Lacrosse!
It's really fun. The goalie stick is different. Fuck!
The two men entered the marathon from South Africa had served as messengers in the Boer War. They had also just participated in the 1 mile event at Anthropology Days. In the actual war, they used to run great distances with messages, so they were considered to be capable of winning the marathon.
They just needed a message to be in their hand.
Right. That's all.
Yep.
The marathon was 24.85 miles long, or 40 kilometers. It was Tuesday, August 30th. The temperature was 32 Celsius, 90 Fahrenheit, and it was to be run on a dusty, unpaved road.
Perfect.
The dust was said to be inches thick.
Oh, good.
There were 7 hills, and in one area, cracked stone was all over the road, which made it dangerous to run or walk on. The runners lined up at the starting line. The Cuban was wearing a white long-sleeve shirt, long, dark dress pants, a beret, and a pair of street shoes.
Was he coming from fancy diving?
Someone grabbed a pair of scissors and cut his pants at the knees so he would be able to run easier.
What is anyone doing? Okay. Great.
The 2 South Africans were barefoot. The starting pistol was fired at 3:30 p.m.
So nobody talks to anybody before an event.
Doesn't seem like
Literally nothing happens. If you're there, great. If you're not, whatever.
Just get on the line.
Just get on the line.
The dust was immediately a problem, mostly because all of the traffic. Right, this is on a dirt road, and it was a busy dirt road, so while they were running, they had to watch out for crosstown traffic, delivery trucks, trains.
I don't want if it wasn't for that truck.
Still a functioning road.
Yep.
Duh.
Yep. Well, you don't need to shut it down.
No, why would you shut it down?
No, of course not.
And
Just
this
as long
was
as everyone's
years-
aware.
This was years after most of our laws were created.
Yes, a fair amount of time. Yeah. Yeah. Things had been established. Life had started.
Cars with runners, coaches, and their doctors would drive alongside the runners, kicking up tons of dust.
Was hitchhiking legal? Could you just get
Yeah.
it? Could you Marty McFly it?
sure it was
That had to have happened.
The runners stopped frequently to cough. Lors pulled ahead quickly, and then Thomas Hicks took the lead from him. It didn't take long for the first runner to go down. William Garcia collapsed on the side of the road. He was rushed to the hospital, where it was discovered he was hemorrhaging from inhaling the dust.
This thing should have been held in a hospital.
I, so far, support all of this. If any of us had to organize the Olympics, this is not far off from what we would do.
The dust had coated his esophagus and ripped his stomach lining.
Casualty of war, continue.
Yeah.
I've changed my opinion on this entire lesson.
If he had not been brought to the hospital within an hour, he would have died.
Well.
The next to go down was Josh I love that someone in the front was just like, oh my God!
She just heard about dust ripping a stomach open.
Probably because none of us knew that could even happen. I was like, thank God, I care more about smog now than ever before.
My tummy! What's the cedar bucket doing? Still trying to track that sea story.
It's become animated by this point.
I hope
I'm
so.
a cedar bucket.
It actually won the silver in gymnastics. Because nobody noticed it was a bucket. Look at it on the beam. My God,
just
it's a
sits there.
natural. It's just right up there. The balance.
Balance. Perfection.
Perfection. Simple perfection.
Next to go down was John Lorden, also overcome by dust. He started vomiting and decided he haven't had enough of this bullshit race.
How far did he get? 20,
Not
30
far.
feet?
He didn't even get 10 miles.
Yeah, I was out there getting.
I love people getting less than 100 yards. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah. Well, then
you
if
get
you're
on dress shoes.
You're starting to be like, maybe can we make it 9 miles? I mean, how can we just do that? Nobody will notice, right?
What's gonna know?
Just dusty.
Let
as
me
shit.
jump in the truck with you.
All right, great. We'll put the ribbon. Okay, great.
You're going to enjoy this story. It was just around this time that one of the South African runners, Len Tau, was chased off the course by a pack of wild dogs.
What the fuck? So how is this a road? What road is this? There's traffic.
The weird thing is, if you go back 100 years, somehow they would run this better than going 100 years later.
A wild pack of dogs.
I love that all these spectators were just like, well, there goes that one.
Yeah.
Hey,
Good
man,
God.
you know the deal when you get involved in a marathon.
It's fucking
Get him! A new sport just broke out.
Oh, yeah.
Wild dog runaway chase.
Oh, no, some of them are going to eat those dogs.
Don't run to Filipino Village!
Oh, dogs, come back. Heel.
You'll ruin the event.
Oh, no. Even when there was like, you could have solved that problem. Just move the Filipino town near the wild dogs.
All right, guys, it's obviously who can get there the fastest. It's 24 miles. There's also a pack of wild dogs that can kill you. Here we go. Also, any houses you pass, they are legally allowed to shoot you as you run. Here we go.
He ran a full mile off course before the dogs finally gave up.
Oh, that mile's gonna cost him.
That's gonna, you know what?
That mile's
That's
gonna
gold
cost
right
him.
there. He should have
That's
won.
gold. Yeah. Come on,
It's
run
really-
through a dog attack.
It's really, any marathon will tell you that's hard to overcome.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Meanwhile, the Cuban ran along in his street shoes and dress shirt. He kept stopping and chatting with spectators in broken English.
Loving it.
Yeah.
Didn't even notice the dog thing.
Nope.
At one point, he was running and stopped next to a car because he saw the passengers were eating peaches. He asked if he could have one, and they said no, so he did what anyone would do and just grabbed them and ran off.
Wait.
Sure.
He's stealing peaches?
Yeah.
This guy knows how to do a marathon. If you're going to run a dusty marathon, this is how you do it.
Yeah, you did.
Wear a beret and hawk peaches.
Now, one of the reasons he grabbed the peaches was he had not eaten for 2 days before starting the race. Well, he did lose all his money.
Yeah.
But he had a belly full of dust now.
He barely got there to even run in the ridiculous race.
Remember? He gambled all his money away.
Yeah.
But the peaches were just his first run-in with fruit. Later on, he came across an apple orchard and enjoyed himself some apples. He can only assume he ate them off the ground because they turned out to be rotten. This led to horrible stomach cramps, which caused him to lay down, and then he fell asleep.
Also, still in first place. I also like picturing that the truck of peaches had like thousands of peaches. Like they could have easily given him 100. Like, no! No peaches for you, fancy runner.
So this guy is the... He misses dogs. He doesn't get dust gut, but he puts himself on IR by eating rotten apples.
Yeah,
and then not even really, it doesn't really damage him. He just gets tired and naps.
Well, his tummy hurts and he takes a sleeping.
Should we wake him up and told him he won the gold?
Let him sleep.
Let him sleep.
The leader at this point was Sam Allure, but then he started having terrible cramps as well. This may have been because they weren't allowed to really drink anything. They could only get water at 2 stops, one at 6 miles and another at 12 miles.
Jesus
This
Christ.
was because James Sullivan thought that this marathon would be a good time to study the effects of purposeful dehydration.
Wait. He's here.
I have some ideas for tomorrow's race.
James. we need to give them water for the last goddamn time.
You would have been able to had I not tipped over all the buckets earlier this
God damn
afternoon.
it. Even the cedar one?
And I seem to have misplaced my wild pack of dogs.
God, no. James. Stop laughing, James.
It's not laughing, it's how I breathe.
Oh, God, that's awful news.
I've never laughed. I've never found anything funny.
No.
Oh, my God.
I love that no one has told him to kind of stay away from the games at all.
No.
James, maybe stay at home.
Well, they also had like a 6-month audition where it was like, well, he's terrible. Well, I can't wait to see what he does with the real Olympics.
Yeah. Well, it's in his hands.
So-
Well,
You can
listen,
only watch.
let's let him see it through. I think he's got a lot of experience under his belt.
So he minimizes the amount of fluid people can take in. The runners were not allowed to get water themselves at the 2 designated points.
Of course not.
Only someone who had nothing to do with the race could give it to them.
Right.
So even their coaches and doctors couldn't.
Sure.
So Sam Millar started walking and then pretty quickly just stopped altogether and sat down. He was done.
Imagine one of the runners just like taking a shortcut into town. Hi, would anyone be willing to come with me back to the main road and pour water into a cup and then handing it to me? Everyone's like, get out of here, you psycho.
How about these peaches? Are they up
Please.
for...
I'm so dehydrated. I'm competing in the
I'm
Olympics.
about to win a gold medal. If someone could just give me a cup of
What's
water.
a gold medal?
Oh, my God. I don't even know anymore, I'll be honest.
Lors was also getting cramps. This was around mile 9. He was currently in 4th place. He gave up also and asked for a ride from a car passing by. He hopped on board, and he waved at people along the route and at his fellow runners as he rode past. Meanwhile, Hicks was in the lead.
That's a fuck you wave,
Yeah.
though, right? That's not
Without
a
a
like,
doubt.
it's great to meet you guys. It's like, idiots.
So Hicks is in the lead. He was actually one of the favorites to win the race, but at the 10-mile mark, he needed help too. He had a couple of guys there to give him support. He was begging them for water, but they wouldn't give him any because they couldn't.
What a horrible rule.
I don't know. It seems pretty cool.
You're right.
But what they could do under the rules was sponge the inside of his mouth with warm distilled water.
You know, the rules are maybe getting a little too specific.
Are you thirsty? Fuck you. Fuck you.
Oh,
Fuck
God.
you.
Oh, to have actual water.
I'm gonna dip
James?
this. I'm gonna dip this in my water.
Listen, James is around here.
And squeeze it and put it in your little mouth.
All of the runners will be equipped with a sponge.
James.
They're allowed to dip it in
James,
distilled
why don't we
water
just
that's
set up,
warm.
Why don't we just set up areas where they can have water?
No, vinegar. They're
What,
allowed
James?
to have vinegar.
No, James.
Yes.
No. Stop laugh breathing.
I'm not laughing.
Well, what is it?
I'm breathing. I
But
have
a lot of
breathing
times
issue.
you don't do it. Oh, fuck this.
At the 17-mile mark, Hicks's crew gave him a cocktail of strychnine and white eggs. Or egg whites, sorry. Egg whites.
That's not the part we
Strychnine
take
and
issue
egg
with.
whites. Who wouldn't want egg whites when they were dehydrated with a mouthful of dust in 90-degree weather? Just and a little tiny bit of poison.
What? Why?
Strychnine is a rat poison, but it also stimulates the nervous system, and so it was used as a stimulant at the time in very small doses.
Hearts on fire, something or other. Remember Rocky?
Just a little bit of
So when I got to the second word of that song, I realized I made a horrible calculation.
At this time, there were no rules about drug use in the Olympics, so it was
No,
okay.
why would there be?
Now,
Of course, it's probably promoted.
Yeah.
Lors' car that he was riding in broke down at the 21-mile mark, and his cramps had stopped, so he just got out of the car and started running again.
Fine.
Couldn't be happier with that
This
decision.
guy. This
Only
is the guy
smart
you
guy.
root for.
He quickly ran past Hicks, who was leading.
Loser.
One of Lors's support crew told him to get off the course, but he passed on that advice and kept running. He was the first one into the stadium, and he crossed the finish line in just a hair under 3 hours. The crowd went wild. They started chanting an American one.
Yeah.
The daughter of President Teddy Roosevelt was there, and she was about to put a wreath on his head.
Give me that wreath!
When an angry Olympic officials realized what was going on. Loris had never said he'd won the race and had been acting like it was a joke the whole time. Now the crowd started booing. Loris copped to it and said it was all a joke. He wasn't actually going to accept the gold medal.
I'm a comedian!
Come on. And people weren't actually amused, and the officials disqualified him. Now, back in the actual race, Hicks was still in the lead. When Loris had passed him, his crew told him to keep going because Loris was definitely going to be disqualified. Hicks was ashen and limping from the poison he took.
So they don't even know the right amount of poison to give him?
Well, you can't.
At this point when he's...
I think any poison is not good.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Is good. Some poison's good.
A little bit, actually. There is
Well, but
some.
when you're dehydrated, it's probably not great.
No, listen, I've been anti-strychnine the whole story. You don't need to tell me.
Nah, but you didn't hear mixed with egg whites? Come on, that's fun.
It is fun. It's like with a little spinach, some
What's
feta.
in this? Egg whites and strychnine. All
Anyway.
right, give it to me.
Yeah.
I want to run. Word had reached him that Loris had won, so he was slowly just chugging along sad. But then someone told him that Loris had been disqualified, and he started moving again, pushing his legs to run. His support crew gave him more egg whites and strychnine.
Poison him more! This man needs more poison!
And this time, brandy.
Oh, good. Get him drunk. Get him proteined up, drunk, and poisoned.
They soaked him in water, and that appeared to do the trick. He looked alert again, and his pace quickened.
They soaked him in water?
Yeah, they just dumped water over him.
Well, that sounds illegal.
It's good to know that drugs have always been a part of the Olympic Games.
A race official later wrote, over the last 2 miles of the road, Hicks was running mechanically like a well-oiled piece of machinery. His eyes were dull, lusterless. The ashen color of his face and skin had deepened. His arms appeared as weights well tied down. He could scarcely lift his legs while his knees were stiff. Then he started hallucinating.
I just keep forgetting it's the Olympics.
What do you even hallucinate at that point?
You hallucinate a regular marathon. You're like, oh, imagine a regular course. Water's everywhere.
I just had an idea of rubber soles on my feet would make it so much easier.
Well, he thought he had another 20 miles to run. So he started begging his support crew for food, and then he wanted to lay down. But they wouldn't let him, knowing if he stopped, it was over. They offered him tea, but he passed on it. They gave him more brandy.
Drink your way out.
There were 2 small hills before the stadium. He walked up and then jogged down the other side. By the time he got into the stadium, he could no longer run. He was barely shuffling along. His support crew picked him up, and they held him like he was like a bench. Like they made a bench with their hands at the finish line, so his feet were dangling, so it looked like he was running.
Sorry, they're just so desperate for someone to actually win that's okay.
What I like is that he made it all the way to the stadium, and only then were they willing to do something that could possibly disqualify
all these
him
people will be
completely.
dicks about it. Here, make a bench with your hands. Let's swing him into the finish line.
Put your taint on my palm.
Here we go. Connect palms.
Anyway, so it looked like he was running, so he was declared the winner. 3 hours, 28 minutes, and 53 seconds. This is the longest official finishing time in Olympic marathon history to this day.
Well, to be fair, he was tripping his balls off.
He lost 8 pounds during the marathon.
During the marathon. More egg whites were needed, huh?
He never ran another marathon.
Why?
Interesting.
Had he taken one more dose of strychnine, he would have died.
Might have been the best thing for him.
Of the 32 racers who entered, 18 did not finish. The Cuban, Felix Carbajal,
Opened a coffee stand.
Even with his nap and street shoes, finished 4th.
What? Almost
The guy
medaled.
who took a nap finished 4th.
Almost medaled.
Yeah.
The guy who was chased a mile by dogs
Oh, come on.
finished 9th, and his fellow countrymen finished 12th.
Wow.
I love that he didn't even. I love that the dogs didn't even throw him off. He's like, I'm gonna still do it.
It's kind of just like a moral thing. I really just want to do it for me. You know what I mean?
Sullivan was pissed at Loris and gave him a lifetime ban. by the Amateur Athletic Union. A few months later, after everyone had calmed down, Lors got the ban rescinded on the grounds that he was temporarily insane and a known prankster.
Well, you see, what we're dealing with here is a man who has a history of pranking people, which tells me there's a precedent.
Yeah.
It's not his first prank, which makes me think there's a history of pranking, and that this prank, while outlandish, is very funny in pranker terminology. He just pulled a hell of a prank.
He doesn't like to play by the rules.
He's a
clear and
prankster.
simple.
This guy, he's a very funny guy.
The next year, he won the Boston Marathon.
With a car, right?
All right, how about a happy ending? Remember George Iser, the gymnast with one leg?
Of course I
Yeah,
do.
right.
I've been rooting for him the whole time.
He performed in the
You've been invested in his story a lot.
He performed in the second gymnastics competition on October 29th. In one day, he won 6 medals, 3 of which were gold.
Wow.
One of those was for the horse vault, which at the time did not use a springboard. So just clumpity, and then he's up.
He won that?
Yep. No one attempted to compete in the Olympics with one artificial leg again until 2008. The World's Fair / Louisiana Purchase celebration
/ Olympics /
Dog
we
fight.
hate women / anyone who's
Mud
different
war,
/ mud fight.
racist historical
/ horse miracle.
/ racism museum.
/ bullfight.
It officially came to a close on December 1st, 1904.
Can you
It was a
imagine
7
the
months long event.
relief when it was done? It's like you just got out of war. Oh, thank God.
I think St. Louis is still recovering from this event. They're still like, God, we still have the smell on us a little
about
bit.
it. I mean, obviously.
1904 was bad for us.
It was not a good time.
So the fair was considered a huge success. 19 million people came to the fair.
But to be fair, that's over 7 months.
Still, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, all right.
That many people didn't even exist back then.
Now, Rory, if I may.
I don't know numbers.
Rory, are you sure about that?
I don't know any history. This is the only history I'll ever retain.
Yeah.
2
Welcome
years
to my
after,
world.
2 years after the Olympics in 1906, 2 years after the Olympics in 1906, the IOC reviewed the Germans' protest of the fancy diving event.
I love how they won't let it go.
There's also, why was it even taken seriously to begin with, ever?
The result...
Who was fanciest? We must solve this.
The result was overturned,
There's no video.
and third place was declared a tie.
How could they overturn it?
There's no way the Germans weren't fancier!
When you put it like that.
I mean,
If you
what do
think
they
of
do?
Germans, what's the first word that comes to your mind?
Fancy diving.
diver.
Thank
Fancy
you.
diving, always.
You're right, now that I think
That
about
is
it.
their legacy. That and that alone.
I can't believe...
To this day, the United States has not acknowledged the decision.
And we're
No.
still pricks about our fake fixed Olympics.
That's like right before the credits. That's the thing that comes up to this day. The United States who won't. Everyone's like, what a dramatic story about these divers that I didn't care about at all. To this day, the United States still won't acknowledge their success.
Directed by...
The next Olympics were held in London in 1908, and they followed the 1904 pattern of Americans being assholes. In the opening ceremony, the U.S. flag bearer refused to dip the flag for King Edward VII. And of course, there was a marathon. Strychnine was used again. A runner from Italy entered the final lap of the marathon in the stadium, but was such a mess, he collapsed twice and then started running the wrong way.
Well, is it do you have to go the same way the whole time? I think that's a fair question for marathoners, for novice marathoners.
It's weird what is a rule and what isn't a rule.
Yeah.
Judges,
24.8 total, I feel like, wins it. Even if that's just in a circle at the beginning.
Yeah. Yes.
Pedometer technology. Go ahead.
Judges turned him around and pointed him in the right direction, and because of that, he was disqualified. So an American won. Sullivan continued to be a very influential person in early Olympic movement, even though IOC President Pierre Coubertin hated Sullivan. He never really got in with the old boys of the IOC. He didn't have their respect, but he could push his agenda because of his power in the U.S. During the 1908 Games, Sullivan got himself the position of Secretary of the U.S. Olympic Committee. He felt it would be great back home to be seen helping Americans as much as possible, so he lodged endless protests at all the events, averaging a few per day. While the sensational press loved it, actual journalists thought he was a total asshole. For the 1912 Summer Olympics, female divers and swimmers were finally allowed to compete. America had a very good female swimmer named Ida Schnall, but Sullivan, sticking to his being a piece of garbage, didn't allow the American women to participate. Sullivan finally died on September 16th, 1914, at Mount Sinai Hospital after an operation on his intestines, which is now an Olympic event.
And now his great-great-grandson is running for president.
Bernie, right?
Bernie Sanders. Bernard.
Everybody feel good about America?
Yeah. Well, that's a normal story.
People were way dumber than you even thought. Like, you were like, no way.
It really does. Like, it's a good story to hear because it makes you sort of look at our time right now and be like, it's not that bad.
Yeah, we've come a long way.
We are bird. I mean, we don't have wild dogs.
Oh, really, Ferguson? Boo-hoo. Right? Is that what you mean?
No.
Well, we've made it this far. I'm not going to comment on that. Feels like I'm in the stadium and I'm about to run backwards, so I'll just...
Put your taint in my hand, Rory. I'll get you there.
Carry me. Carry my taint.
So
even then, as they were doing it, he was like, guys, seriously, I can run. I'm fine. Let us hold your taint as you run.
Move your legs.
Come on, Hicks, run.
Pretend like you're running like a road runner.
I feel weird.
Keep doing it.
The strychnine is kicking in. I mean, that is absolutely...
Jesus.
That's insanity.
Dave has a hat.
What's up, girl?
That is the wackiest. It's legitimately wacky. Like, it's a wacky
Are you
Olympics.
willing to go on record with that?
Yes.
Wow.
It's
all right.
a wacky
Well,
Olympics.
That's big.
Someone has learned what the dollop is.
What's that?
Are you guys having a hat off?
Yeah. Where's
You
your
guys-
hat, dude?
Are you competing in hats still?
Well, I already won. Right, girl?
All my hats have been given to me, and I pride myself on that. I've never purchased one hat. That should be an event.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have to get going. We've probably gone way over, and other comics have to come up here and do shows and get sick from the mic that I've been talking into.
Is it weird that I still think curling shouldn't be?
That's your takeaway? Curling. I still got a bug up my ass. What are they doing?
Sweeping the ice.
Oh my God! Look at these Filipinos trying to curl.
Dogs! Look out! Dogs!
You guys, thank you very much.
Thank
you.
Oh, yes, it's Gareth. Not Gary, stop it. Gare Force, listen, I've got a bunch of stand-up shows coming up, and I want to see you there. We can hug. I will be at Rooster Teeth Feathers in Sunnyvale, California, April 18th, 19th, and 20th. Then I will be in Chattanooga, Tennessee, June 18th. I will be at Nashville at Zanies, June 19th. I will be in Huntsville, Alabama, June 20th. I'll be in Atlanta, Georgia, June 21st, June 22nd. Then I will be in Pottstown, Pennsylvania, June 26th. Then I'll be in East Providence, Rhode Island, June 27th. Then I'll be in Boston, Massachusetts, and Boston, June 28th. That's 2 shows. I will be in Springfield, Massachusetts, June 29th, Rochester, New York, June 30th, and then July 5th through the 6th. Canada, I've heard your prayers, and I will answer them. I will be in Toronto. So come join me at the Comedy Bar. Go to GarethReynolds.com for tickets and information. That's right, Gareth Force. We're calling you up. It's the big time. The big leagues. This went poorly.
Premier Members Credit Union is like a community garden where your neighborhood and savings bloom from give-back programs and low rates, like mortgages that can plant you in your dream home. Premier Members Credit Union. Join us at becomepremier.com. Terms and conditions apply. Federally insured by the NCUA. Equal housing lender. NMLS number 416701.